bagger is such a blessing. Oh, I didn't put the other bin in there. It's so expensive, we were really debating about getting it, but it is well worth it. We're definitely going to get our money's worth out of this. We're getting so much mulch. Just in mowing the lawn once, I've been able to mulch all the tomato plant areas. I'm going to get some more grass, so I'll be able to finish off down this side right here. This is going to help hold moisture in. It's going to lay on top of the weeds and keep them from growing. And it's going to add to the soil when we are done with these plants and we sort of till everything under or start planting the next thing. This is going to be part of the soil. Beautiful out here. I've been driving down a bunch of curvy roads, so I waited until I got on the interstate. I'm headed to Rocky Face Mountain. I think it's recreational area or something. I've never been there before, but they have some climbing there. And I'm meeting my friend Joseph. He's older than I am, so he's got to be at least 60, somewhere in there. And he's just gotten started into climbing this year. I'm heading out there. I'm 57. I used to do a lot of climbing. I don't do hardly any anymore. But I'm gonna head out there and we're gonna go try this place out. It's some short climbs. We'll just have to go and explore it and see what are the good routes and what might be something we could play around on. We're not gonna spend a lot of time because we're gonna come back to the farm and have lunch later. You might notice that my eye is swollen. I think some kind of bug bit me or something. I had gotten into some poison ivy, but I don't think, it just doesn't feel like poison ivy. It's itchy like poison ivy, but I don't think there's really a rash there. So I've had that for 2 days now. Maybe when we were getting hay, Friday afternoon, Cindy and I had been driving and seeing a lot of hay being baled and a lot of hay being cut. Excuse me. And so I called a neighbor on our street and was asking him if the first cut of hay is the best or if you are better to wait till the second cut. And he said the first cut is definitely the best. And he said he was cutting some and he'd have it ready that afternoon. So I said, wow, this is an opportunity. Plus, he said if you pick it up out of the field, you get a really good deal, saving some money. So we need about 60 bales. And I said, okay, we'll be out there this afternoon. I checked with Rico. Rico said he wanted some hay too. So we took the trailer out there and we gathered a bunch of hay. And it was amazing how quickly we picked it up and got it into the barn. So now we have a really good amount of hay for the winter. It's June right now, but the hay will last, so it'll be good hay for the winter. And this is also orchard grass, which is got a lot more proteins, really good for the sheep. So I just got here. Looks like a nice little place and a nice looking rock. It looks like a nice place to learn how to climb, and I've seen that there's some pretty difficult routes here, so it's kind of got all levels. Maybe 60 or 70 feet tall. Yeah. So this is Joseph. He's getting his shoes off. He already tried this route and he got the first bolt on there for me, so I don't even have to worry for the first 15 or 20 feet. So now on the way home, it started raining. It's just been a perfect day. The rock wasn't wet. It did rain a little last night, but the rock wasn't wet, so that was really good. We climbed in overcast conditions, so we didn't have the sun shining in our face or making it too hot. And then now on the way home, it's starting to rain, so at home we can get some good rain for our fields, for the grass, for the sheep, and for our garden, and just had a great day of good timing. The type of climbing we were doing is called sport climbing, where you can clip onto bolts as you climb up, and so you don't have to set up a top rope at the top. There are sport routes in North Carolina, but most of them are difficult. So if you're a really good climber, there's a lot of variety of sport routes to climb, but not much for beginners. And this wall that we went to today has tons of bolted routes for beginners, which is great. So I've never known of any place in North Carolina that was like that. We used to drive up to West Virginia to go to New River Gorge to find routes like that, and then there still weren't a whole lot for beginners. But this might be a place that I'd want to go to again and again. It's fun to be lead climbing and yet be in a safe situation where you're climbing well within your ability.